the hairstyle here, I'm coming to you a little bit messy hair under this, and definitely not the prettiest I've ever been on camera, but who cares? It's not going to stop me from creating this video, especially with the fact that what I'm sharing with you in this video I find to be so precious and so valuable in life and also in business. I'm sharing with you a practice, a soul practice that will not only help you open your heart deeper to yourself and to others, it will help you make more money in your business. I promise you, if you practice this, especially if you're doing all the other things, meaning like putting yourself out there, taking the action, like understanding your offers and stuff like that, and you add this to it, my God, it works, right? How do I know it works? I literally just a few hours ago just got a 15K cash payment doing this. Couple of days ago, not only did I have a new client say yes to a 5K offer, she also paid, right? Like I keep practicing this over and over again. It works. And I'm going to share exactly how it works with you in this video. Before I even share what I'm about to share with you, let me say that, you know, like this soul practice that I'm talking about, that will not only open your heart, but help you attract more paying clients or like increase your income in your business. It's not because somebody taught me how to do this, okay? But rather, it is a combination of two things. A combination of the fact that there's always this mathematician within me who's always like computing, how can I apply this to particular situation? How can I apply this, like these principles to these particular circumstances? That's what happened here, right? So like initially when I learned this practice, it was literally for communicating from soul to soul with other humans, right? Because it's such a powerful space to communicate. Like a lot of the times, even with words, like words carry sometimes loads of other things that we don't necessarily want to carry, but like through energetic connection from soul to soul, it feels so pure. There's no misunderstanding. There's like, so, and I've practiced this over and over again, and I continue to practice this over and over again. A lot of the times what that really required, right? Step number one is to connect to your own soul. Like to me, it's through energy, or activate connection to the soul space. Again, for me, it is through energy. And then communicate with the other person's soul, right? Do you understand what I mean? So like it may sound a little bit weird, but I promise you, I'll break it down, right? I'll break it down, because from that perspective, there is really no misunderstanding, right? So like where I actually practice this a lot is whenever like I feel like I'm in conflict with somebody, for example, right? And it feels like, oh my God, like we have some sort of misunderstanding, blah, 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 right? Instead of going into the space or whatever, blah, 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 and trying to solve it in the physical. For me, a lot of the times how I will do it is, first of all, go back to that space. Go back to, oh, okay, first connect with my soul. Because from that soul, like I call it, kind of like neutral space. From that neutral space, then I can communicate with the other person from a neutral space. And oftentimes I'll probably say sorry, like sorry to the person, or you know, like I forgive you, or please forgive me, or I love you, or whatever, right? And believe it or not, it works. Believe it or not, oh my God, like a lot of the times the person will call me, a lot of the times the person will be like, I was just thinking about you. A lot of the times you can do this with your friends, you can do this with I've done this with my children. I've done this with my husband, I've done this like literally, like you see, like naturally something just dissolves, right? So I've known for years that this works, right? I've known for years that this works. And then I actually started communicating as well, from soul to soul with clients, right? So like, where am I going with this, right? I want to share with you how I actually like how I run my business now. Like for the longest time, like my business, or for the past couple of years, I'll say, my business was solely on like launching, but you know, like launch mode, and When I'm usually during a lunch, people will get on a call in the past with my team, and then they'll have conversations, and then they will decide whether or not they will join, right? So like the past couple of years, that's like my business has grown a lot from that way of doing business, right? And the past few months, I've switched things a little bit differently, which that's a whole story for another time. And now, what I'm doing now is my team is still there, but like a part of we kind of like how do I want to say this? Instead of volume, we focus more on really qualified people that are wanting to work with me. Okay, so basically what that looks like right now, I'm not going to get too much into that, that's another video for another time, right? Basically at some point people get to speak with me either on WhatsApp or have conversations with me, right? Before anybody gets there, like there's a real process where like before I even get to have a conversation with somebody, I already know that based on what I know from this person, that I know exactly how I can help you get the results that you want, right? And so basically I know that the person that is coming, the person I'm having the conversation with, that they are qualified, and that the way that I work can be so powerful for them to create the results, right? So that's like the premise. This is where we start with, right? So there is no wrong person getting on a call with me or anything like that. Rather, by the time they get to have conversations with me, we already know, we have already established that not only are they qualified, but also they want to do this, they are excited, right? And the conversations we often have will be really around that, like how excited they are about doing this work and stuff like that. And oftentimes by the time they get on the call with me, they pretty much know like how much I charge and stuff like that. And where I'm going with this is that a lot of the times you will get on call, you may have experienced this, you will get on a call, the person from the soul's perspective, they are excited, they know that they want what it is that they're saying that they want. From the soul perspective, they know that they're capable. From the soul's perspective, they want to do this, right? And then they might even say yes to you on the call. They might even say, oh my God, yes, I'm excited, I'm going to do this, right? If you've ever experienced somebody saying yes to you, they're excited, right? Especially if your work is a more higher ticket, right? My work right now is like around minimum 3K, 5K, 15K, 20K, 30K. To work with me, depending on the level where you're working with me, right? Some clients will say yes or will get scared, right? This is where I'm going with this, right? And some people will say yes, and then at a certain point feel like, oh my God, like this is scary to me, I don't want to, right? That's why like a lot of people will get people ghosting them, a lot of people will get people disappearing on them even after they have said yes, that they are moving forward, right? This is where this support comes in, right? So when somebody says yes, when somebody is excited, right? When somebody, you've already established that, oh my God, this person is going to get results. You know exactly how to help the person. They know that you can help them. At least the soul part of them knows that, you know, like your work is going to have a huge transformation on them. And sometimes the fear is even about the transformation itself, right? It's like the resistance around the transformation itself, right? But a lot of people, right? For me personally, where I am now, when I make a decision that I'm going to invest, if I say yes to somebody, like I'm already all in, there's no going back, right? So what I'm saying is that it's not that everybody does that, but there are some people who then get stuck in the fear, right? Which normal, blah, 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 right? When they get stuck in the fear, it's because the false self is coming into play, right? The limited self is coming into play, right? And so what I'm sharing with you here is not about manipulating anybody or pushing anybody to say yes. As a matter of fact, what I do is I always go to this space where, number one, I go to this space where I connect energetically to soul level to myself. From that soul level to myself, really it's like point of neutrality. There is no manipulation. There is no, like, there's no, nothing unclean around it, right? You want what's best for you and you want what's the best for the other person, right? Which is why for me it is so important. This only works, in my opinion, if you go from that space, right? You want what's best from you and for you, and then you also want what's best for the other person. And then for me, what I do is I'll say, may this person make the decision not based on the fear, but rather based on their soul's power, based on their soul's perspective, based on what their soul wants, right? What it requires, what this really means, right? Like this I started doing quite a long time ago, right? And it has had a huge impact in my business. What that really means is trust in this person's souls, as opposed to trusting in this person's fear, right? Because believe it or not, what you're thinking about it, this person, whatever you're activating within yourself, at that moment, the other person is actually receiving and also perceiving it, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So what it really, really takes is, number one, you yourself, right, have to really increase your level of trusting in your own soul. That's number one, right? And the more I have done that, the more powerful this has been, right? The more this works, right? Number one, trust in the power of your soul. You have to develop that. I continuously develop that. That's why I created Unity, to literally continue strengthening my relationship with my soul, continue increasing my trust in the power of my soul. That's step number one. The more you do that, the more you cannot trust in somebody else's soul power if you do not have the ability to trust in your own power. As much or as little as you can trust in your soul power is as much as or as little as you can trust in somebody else's power, like soul power. So when you look at it, and if you follow this logically, what that means is that may this person make their decision based on their soul's power, not based on their fears. What that also means is that sometimes the answer can be no, right? This is why I said at the beginning, there's no manipulation here, right? You also have to be willing to be okay with their answer being no. So how I practice this is this. Really, it's like good for me and good for them. Like, may what is good for you, may what's good for me and what's good for them, may that happen. But may this happen from the perspective of their soul's perspective, and from the space of my soul's perspective. What that means as well is I surrender, and what that means as well is I let go, right? This works so powerfully, you have no idea. It works. The funny thing is, I've had several people, even what would I say, what was it? Maybe a year ago or so, I had a conversation. This was like on Instagram. Like, I was right in the middle of a lunch when this gentleman, like, he was entertaining the idea of joining my Unity program at the time. And when we were having the conversation, I'm quite intuitive. I could feel that his answer at that moment was no. I could feel that the answer to will you join or will you not join Unity at the moment, his answer was no, right? And for me, I was like, okay, like, I answered all the questions that he asked at the time, and I literally let it go. But then I said to myself, even though your answer is no right now, may you make your decision. If that's the decision that you've made from the perspective of your soul and not your fears, I am so okay with this, it's okay, may you have the best life ever. Like, this is literally how I was looking at it. But if you're making your decision based on your fears, then may you make the decision that is not only from the perspective of your soul power, but may you make the best decision for the growth of your soul, right? And before you knew it, he had actually signed up to be like in one program, and then he joined again. I think he ended up being 3 cycles in the program with me. And the reason why I'm sharing this was that like eventually, even like the first couple of weeks or 3 weeks he was in the program with me, he shared with me, right? This is how I know as well, 100%. He shared with me that like when he had that conversation with me, his answer was completely no. Like he wasn't doing yet another program. But then like he found himself changing his mind. He doesn't know how, and he kept asking himself like, why am I changing my mind? Why am I changing my mind? You know, it wasn't like like there was nothing pushy, but rather it felt like like something was waking up within him that made him feel like, oh, this is something that I really want to do. He ended up having the most amazing result and the really most amazing experience in the program with me, right? And he was also in Unity, right? So I wanted to share that with you. This might sound a little bit weird, but it works. We are so connected. Our souls are so connected. But also, this is my motto always in my life. Live a life where not only I create success in my physical reality, my physical life, but also a life lived for the purpose of the growth of my soul, right? And so not only that, like use the power of my soul, use the power of, that connection with really that part of who I am for creating intentionally intentionally in life. It can help you really create incredible things in your business. Not only that, it will help you increase your connection with your heart and your soul. And so when I'm talking about that, when I'm talking about connecting to the soul part of who we are, for me it always comes down to energy, like energetic connection, because that part of who you are, that soul part of who you are or who I am, this is how I have come to experience it, is purely energy, right? And the language that part of who you are and who I am speaks, the language or the means of communication that it has is through energy. And so the more you develop your sensitivity to energy, the more you develop even your own energy body, the more you gain the ability to connect with that part of who you are in the most powerful way, right? And this is why it really has become truly become my passion. This is why I've utilized this to really go beyond. Like I keep talking about go beyond, like always I keep going beyond what I have already experienced in my life. Because it helps me also like not only stretch the power of my brain, but really deepen and really give more power to my soul. This is how I look at it, right? And so like in my work for myself, I'm always really breaking new barriers, like whether it's income barrier, or this is how I literally went from obviously I started my business from zero to then 10Ks and multi 5-figure months and 30Ks, 40Ks, 50Ks, and so on, right? So I'm always pushing the barriers, pushing the limitations to see how far can I go. And that's exactly how I invite my clients as well. That's how they're doing it also, is okay, how can I go beyond that, right? Yes, it is for the money that we can create, that you can create or we can create in business, but beyond that, it is also for all the discovery that we get into when it comes to ourselves, right? So that's it that I wanted to share with you in this video. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.